Hey, it's Michael Douglas. Welcome back to another edition of Dr. Pundit, where we talk about music, not medicine. And this is another song review, this one of a song from 55 years ago. Band of Gold by Freda Payne. Some people can sing along to catchy songs and never give much thought to what's going on with the lyrics. And others like to pick apart the words to really find out what's going on with the story of the song. I find myself in a little bit in both camps, and I choose to listen to certain songs one way. I like their arrangements, and another way, I like the lyrics. It just really depends. And if you're one of the people who likes to dig into the lyrics, a line or two from the 1970 smash single by Freda Payne, Band of Gold, has probably confused you. And that confusion hasn't cleared up much since the song was released. And yet the song has proven to be one of the most resilient in the pop soul era. It sounds as fantastic today as when it was first released more than 55 years ago. Freda Payne had already built a solid career before she became a pop star, and throughout the 1960s, she had recorded a series of jazz albums featuring her powerhouse vocals. She was also making an impact on the theater world, but fame came knocking at her door via some buddies from her old haunts in Detroit, Michigan. The famed Holland Dozier Holland trio of producers and writers, Brian Holland, Lamont Dozier, and Eddie Holland, responsible for a multitude of Motown hits in the 1960s, came calling on Freda Payne. And after clashing with Berry Gordy Jr. at Motown, they decided to go on their own. And they signed Freda Payne as one of their first big gets for their new label, Invictus Records. Now, along with an Invictus employee named Ron Dunbar, using the alias Edith White because of contractual ties to the aforementioned Motown, wrote Band of Gold. And Freda Payne at first thought it was too young for her, but she was convinced to record it. And with a pre-fame Ray Parker Jr. playing lead guitar, that smashed at number 3 in 1970. It became the 10th biggest song of that year. Now, once people started listening to the song, they began to scratch their heads at a specific section. And the song, about the heartbreak of a young bride, contains these lines. That night on our honeymoon, we stayed in separate rooms. The bride then spends the rest of the song hoping that her groom will return. But why the separate rooms? And many have speculated that the groom may have been gay, hence his decision to steer clear of her during her honeymoon. Lamont Dozier claimed that such a subtext was intended, if not spelled out, when Band of Gold was written. Now, by contrast, Ron Dunbar, the writer of the song, explained that the problem lay in the fact that the original version of the song was edited down. Some discarded verses included lines where the bride explains that she had previously turned the groom away. In other words, he was only reciprocating her reticence. Now, I don't think anybody will ever know what was going on with Band of Gold, but aside that, the song does a great job of exposing the heartbreak of the principal in this case, the bride. Since you've been gone, all that's left is a band of gold. All that's left of the dreams I hold and the memories of what love could be if you are still here with me. The ring does her no good and she's tortured by the past. She also speaks of how he took her from her former life under the protection of her mother. It suggests that she can't go back to her own way of living now that she's experienced the feelings of romance. Very tortuous. Freda Payne has sustained an impressive career in music, theater, TV, film. And Band of Gold has been covered many times over, even as the original remains in public consciousness almost 60 years since it was originally recorded, which goes to show that you don't need to be able to explain a song to enjoy it. Hear, hear. Yes, it's there, but it doesn't detract from the instrumentation, the pathos in Freda's voice, all of that stuff. Band of Gold, number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, and the 10th biggest song of 1970. And the subject of a song review right here on Dr. Pundit. If you like this channel and the content, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. And as the late great Barry White always used to say, let the music play, and I'll see you on the next episode.